Hey everybody, thanks so much for having me, guys. This is my very first time coming here. I'm really excited. What a great energy. My name's Tom Arnold, and I started PetHub. I started out at Microsoft. I've done a bunch of other startups, some really good, some not so good. And then I found myself at Microsoft, and I was going through and doing the Visual Studio thing and Office 365 and having a blast. Got 4 years in and thought, okay, I really need to go do another startup. But man, they have this 5-year trophy thing that they kind of do. Maybe I'll hang out for another year. And God help me, I actually stayed out for another year for that. And then I blinked, and another year had gone by. So I was 6 years in, and I was like, I got to get the hell out of here and do something where I'm actually feeling like I'm making a difference. And so I was like, what can I do where I'm actually marrying my love of doing software development with actually doing something that's really important to me? And what's really important to me are the animals in my life. I've got a dog and 2 cats. That's my dog, Uller. He does ski patrol with me in avalanche search and rescue, and I've got 2 cats. And I found this really freaky, scary statistic, and that is 1 out of 3 animals can expect to be lost in its lifetime. And once it gets lost, only 2% of cats make it home again, and less than 20% of dogs make it home again as well. And God help them if they make it into a shelter, because if they make it into a shelter, half of them are not making it back out of the shelter. And nobody wants that, of course. So a lot of people say, well, what's the tech that was there when you started, Tom? Well, of course, there's the microchip. Everybody knows about that. It's a grain of rice. You can scan it, but you have to go to a shelter or a vet to get that. The other thing is somebody came up with, well, let's hang a thumb drive on these dogs. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. But then there's, of course, let me throw all my personal information on a chip, and then, a creepy guy in the dog park gets out there and goes, oh, little Fluffy. And it's like, oh, thanks for your number there, lady. And so it's like, okay, a lot of people aren't cool about hanging that out there. So what we did was we came up with the concept of a simple ID tag that links to a simple online profile. So it's got a phone number, it's got a QR code, we just added NFC to it, and you, of course, can type in the web address. Now, being geeks, we could not help ourselves but continue to innovate. So we started pulling GPS off these phones and emailing a map to the owner when somebody views the pet's profile. We send you an email alert, not just you an email alert, we send it to anybody you've invited into your pet's life. So your pet sitter, your dog walker, your neighbor, your spouse, they all get an alert. We also build up a database of 13,000 shelters in North America, so you can broadcast out your pet's profile and say, hey, be on the lookout for this animal because he has diabetes, he has all this stuff that needs some attention. So that's what we did. So last year was our first real revenue year, and we have 200,000 tags out there now. And so we actually had hundreds of animals returned home, and this is what's really cool. 97% of them were returned within 24 hours, 25% of them within under an hour. A lot of owners didn't even know they were missing yet. So it was really cool. So then we're like, okay, cool tag, let's keep getting cooler. Girls really they're 80% of the buyers, and they really like cool stuff. And so let's come up with some cool stuff. Now, guys, we like it too, of course. So we got these badass collars and all that. And so we put these things out, but then we started realizing, then you go and you link it up to the pet's profile, and you put in multiple phone numbers, multiple email addresses, anything you want, and that comes up. And you can show and hide it as much as you want, so you don't have to worry about privacy and all that. And then we started getting more and more animals safe. And what we do, a lot of this stuff that we're doing is free. We don't charge for the basic profile or linking the tag, just the cost of the tag itself. And then we start charging for things like the GPS and the shelter alert, things that actually cost us money on some of these things. And then we actually started licensing this out to existing tag manufacturers and etching companies, and they started pushing us into retail stores. So suddenly, within a month, we were in 1,500 retail stores, and we localized ourselves for 5 different languages. And of course, we got more pets home, and we kept getting more pets home, which was fantastic. And basically how we make our money as far as keeping our lights on, a lot of it is around the freemium model where people can upgrade, but they don't have to. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do for free. So the team, we're a very small team. We're in Issaquah. There's about 6 of us, not counting the dogs. And we're out there. We're having fun. We're building our community. We're getting some attention from press. I love the Popular Mechanics quote where he says, every dog has to have this tag. And then we have these incredible partners where we're just doing lots of good things. Now, here's where I actually would love your help. Now that we're helping getting animals home, we want your help to help us get animals home. So I've actually gone out and I have 200 tags that I brought with me. Anyone who has an animal, who has animals in their life here? Anybody who wants a tag, I've got 200 of them, and we want your feedback. Also, we just found out that we're in the Tech Flash Cup, and we could really use your votes so that we can get down in that competition and have a chance to pitch in November. But the only way to do it is if you go to PetHub.com/vote, or if you scan this QR code, which will take you there as well. And I'm over time, and thank you so much, everybody. This is a great thing.